Hello from New York, and hello from SportsCenter, and hello, Kevin.
Hello from Bristol, KO. Day 93, the baseball offseason. We're still waiting on Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. The waiting game is the big story in the NBA with another big star. Anthony Davis will not play tonight for the Pelicans when they face the Rockets. He'll miss his 5th straight game due to a strained left index finger, but it's the first one he'll miss since requesting a trade. By the way, he was fined $50,000 earlier today by the NBA for violating the CBA for making a trade request public. Here's the latest development on Davis. Multiple league sources expect his agent, Rich Paul, will soon deliver word around the league that his preferred destination is the Lakers, and that if he's dealt anywhere else, he'll be a rental player until the 2020 offseason. However, league sources have said that Danny Ainge is still interested, even without assurance that he'd sign an extension with the Celtics. Boston's been calling for the past year or more on Davis, but wouldn't be able to make a deal until July. And several teams have told ESPN that they're weighing the prospects of making an offer for Davis in order to chase a championship this season. Teams might then try to flip Davis after the season to regain some of the assets they'd lose in making the deal. Pelicans head coach Alvin Gentry today.
This is not the first time that this has happened. It's not the first time it's happened in the last season. So it's not something that's brand new or unfamiliar to the league. And as I said, we understand, all of that, and we have to block that out.
It is the elephant in the room. Great to have Woj with us here. What's the strategy right now when you look at the Lakers and the Celtics trying to land Davis?
Well, L.A. would like to get a deal done sooner than later because right now they don't have the Celtics in the bidding. And for L.A., listen, they have young players. They can offer multiple first-round picks going forward. But they need to have a willing partner here with the Pelicans. And they found last year with the Spurs weren't enthusiastic about sending Kawhi Leonard their way. The Pelicans, listen, they don't want to just give Anthony Davis to the Lakers and put him where he wants to be. Boston wants to play the longer game here. And listen, they're going to get word. They'll talk with New Orleans soon if they haven't talked here in the last hour or two. And let them know we want to be in this when the season's over. They can't do the trade now. They can't have Kyrie Irving and Davis on the roster together. They can't finalize a deal until July 1. But Boston will let New Orleans know that we are going to be aggressive. We're going to be able to give you everything you want for Anthony Davis. Hold off before the trade deadline.
Okay, outside the Lakers and Celtics, how are teams around the league processing this trade request?
Well, teams want to know where Anthony Davis's head is. And I think the sense around the league right now is the Lakers are his focus. And so I think the message is being sent to teams that if you trade for Anthony, he'll be a rental, that he'll leave in 2020. That's not deterring everybody. Teams in their offices, a lot of meetings the last couple days. Do we have the assets to that would fulfill what New Orleans would want? Is it worth us getting involved in this? And, it's still a slow-playing, slow-developing marketplace for him. They have until Thursday afternoon. Next Thursday is the trade deadline.
All right, and the big question is, too, what do the Pelicans want? Do they want draft picks, big-name players? Do they want a guy that has an expiring contract, right?
Right now, the Pelicans want everything. They've got Anthony Davis. They're going to ask for the moon here for a while.
All right, the trade deadline, as Woj talked about, 9 days away.
Can you describe your confidence level right now?
To the roof.
MVP.
We can call him Mr. January. It's his month. Tonight, the Rockets will face the Pelicans in their last game of the month, and the Beard needs 43 points to join Wilt Chamberlain as the only players in NBA history to average 44 points per game in a calendar month. And with 573 points in January, the reigning MVP is just 27 points away from becoming the first player to score 600 points in a month since Michael Jordan in March of 1987. Before him, the last to do it was Kareem. And Harden has scored 35-plus in his last 10 games. In the last 40 seasons, the only player to do that for more than 10 straight games is Kobe in 2003. Enough about the stats and the conversation. Let's take a look at Harden's incredible run. Sound up.
all-star, MVP, all-world player.
Teams just don't know what to do with him right now.
Basically, Mike D'Antoni is giving him the ball and saying, just do you.
And he puts JaVale McGee on a poster.
A 50-plus triple-double.
Harden shoots for the win. He got it.
He fell down. And Harden with a cold-blooded three.
He and Wilt Chamberlain are the only players in NBA history with back-to-back 55-point games.
James Harden with 61 points. Make them bow down when they need us.
The two top scorers in Madison Square Garden history for a visiting player was Kobe Bryant and James Harden.
They rise to their feet. Harden pulls back from the elbow. The jumper good! 23 consecutive games with 30 or more points as the chance of MVP rained down.
And it's great to have Stephen A. Smith with us. With Harden playing like an MVP and a healthy CP3 now, where do you have the Rockets in the West?
Well, semifinals in the Western Conference, I view that, but I look at a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder as a more viable threat to the Golden State Warriors. I'm of the mindset that no matter what you get from James Harden, CP3 is the key. James Harden, to me, no human being can sustain what he has been doing. 21 straight games of 30 or more. You look at the 40-point explosions, 3 games in a row where he scored over 50. But I got to see CP3 healthy to believe it. And until I see that, I'm not picking Houston to get beyond the semifinals.
All right, let's stay out west. As for the biggest story in the NBA this week, multiple league sources have told ESPN Anthony Davis's preferred destination is the Lakers. What kind of pressure is on L.A. to get this deal done in the next 9 days?
It's immense pressure on Magic Johnson. There's no way around it, because here's the reality. The Golden State Warriors are incredibly formidable. If you're Irvin Magic Johnson, you wouldn't trade for Paul George. You wouldn't give up Brandon Ingram. You wouldn't trade Kuzma and the boys to San Antonio for Kawhi Leonard. You wanted to hold on to your assets. And now if you lose out on Anthony Davis, well, who else is going to be available for you to get? Are you sure you can get Klay Thompson? Are you sure you can get Kyrie Irving? If you don't get Anthony Davis, you potentially get no one. And if you potentially get no one, then you've gotten LeBron James for what exactly?
Let's talk about Danny Ainge, still determined to make a trade for Davis, knowing he may not sign long-term. If the preferred destination is the Lakers for the Brow, how will that impact the rest of the trade market and these other teams if it's just for a rental in your mind?
Well, it remains to be seen. And you also have to remember that as long as Kyrie Irving is on the Boston Celtics, they can't make any moves to trade for Anthony Davis until this summer. So, and not only that, their preferred situation is to have Kyrie playing alongside Anthony Davis. So we've got to look out for that. There are other teams that Wojnarowski pointed out to me on my radio show yesterday. He said, hey, look, you got teams that know that Anthony Davis could potentially be a rental, but they believe in having an asset like that because they believe they'd be able to get more than Dell Demps, the general manager in New Orleans, would be able to get from him right now. So they want to throw their name in the hat.
On Brian Windhorst's recent podcast, Jackie McMullen said LeBron's camp wants a coaching change in L.A. How much longer do you think Luke Walton has as the Lakers head coach?
This season. To be quite honest with you, now, in fairness to LeBron James' camp, they swear that report was erroneous. He has never spoken out against Luke Walton. That much needs to be said. One could surmise that change is coming, but we don't know that for sure. We'll see what happens, whether or not they get Anthony Davis, if they get Anthony Davis, what the team looks like, or if they don't get Anthony Davis, how everybody scatters for cover to sort of offset the negative momentum that will come their way, because you don't know who they're going to get, if anybody at all, via free agency. That's the situation with the Lakers right now, and it's appropriate because they're in Hollywood, and obviously this is a true Hollywood story.
Yeah, drama, and more drama. One thing we can tell you for sure, LeBron not going to be in the lineup tonight as the Lakers host the Sixers. Stephen A. Smith, thank you.
Thank you.
When they face the Rockets, he'll miss his 5th straight game due to a strained left index finger. There he is for the game. It's the first one in the game that he'll miss since requesting a trade. He was fined $50,000 today by the NBA for violating the CBA for making a trade request public. Multiple league sources expect AD's reps will soon deliver word around the league that his preferred destination is the Lakers. James Harden has been mind-boggling of late. 23 consecutive games scoring at least 30 points, averaging 44 points per game in January. If he scores 43 points tonight against the Pelicans, he would average 44 for the month, which would be the most by any player in a calendar month in the last 50 seasons. NBA reporter Tim McMahon joining us now live from Houston for Pelicans Rockets. And we heard about how amazing Harden has been. It's been staggering. But how are the Rockets adjusting to CP3 being back after he missed 17 games?
Well, they really believe that CP3 being back in the fold will help James Harden be more efficient. They're hoping that Chris Paul can help them get Harden's minutes under control down to about 35 per game. And as Mike D'Antoni said, there won't be dead minutes for James Harden, that he'll be more explosive throughout the game. And, you know, he's not going to have the ball in his hands a whole lot less often, though, I can tell you that.
Well, he played 25 minutes on Sunday. We'll see how Mike D'Antoni handles his second game back tonight from that hamstring injury. Tim, thank you so much. Reminding you here, we've got NBA coming your way. A doubleheader Wednesday night, starting in D.C. with the Pacers and Wizards, followed by the Jazz and the Trailblazers. Jazz guard Donovan Mitchell, how about the turnaround for him, averaging 28 points per game this month. Our coverage begins with NBA Countdown, 7 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. KO?
I'm Michael Leach. Thanks for kicking it with us on SportsCenter, which lately, John, feels like the James Harden show because he's earned A-block top billing quite a bit lately.
It's hard to deny a man scoring at a clip comparable to Wilt. Just once could somebody figure out how to keep this cat under 30. January, James, 610 points scored this month. That's an average of 43.6 per 14 games here in January. Now, they're having to guard him without Anthony Davis because he's got a bad finger. AD, of course, hadn't been traded, but here's the coach on stopping him.
Well, we'll do as good a job as everybody else has done the last 6 games. How about that? We'll try hard to hold him under 50, okay? And that means we've done as good a job as anybody else.
We're chuckling, low bar. That's all we're saying. We're not promising a bunch. First quarter, Harden started well. Drives, scores, and the foul. He got to the line just 10 times tonight, made 9 of those. Darius Miller guarding Harden. Harden goes right around him and scores. He had 11 in the first quarter. We look at that again because we're giving the old hands behind the back thing so you don't reach in, but that doesn't work. Now you just look foolish. You play defense with your feet. Harden steps back, drains a 3 there. So he had 15 in the first half, halfway to 30, but not terribly efficient. Just 5 of 13 shooting. Rockets, though, led by 7. Third quarter, Pelicans. All right, let's double team Harden. And then he gets it to P.J. Tucker, who finds Kenneth Faried, and he lays that in. Harden, screen, Tucker. They're going to follow him. There you go. Hike, back to hit. Tucker had 9 points in this one. 2 defenders again coming. Harden, he's not afraid to give it up. He had 6 assists in this game. Austin Rivers is the guy that knocks that one down. So makes some good reads there. Pelicans in transition. Jahlil Okafor. Big game for Okafor. 27 and 12, 11 of 15 shooting. So Anthony Davis, they miss him, but it's nice that they got a complimentary fill in there from Okafor. Pelicans led by 3 after 3 into the fourth. It's a 10-point game. Drew Holiday in the lane, scoring. On the home floor, the Rockets are down a dozen. Harden, he's got 27. He's got 30 bangs. So he extends the streak of consecutive 30-plus games to 24. It's another one to go there. Again, 11 of 32 shooting, 6 of 18 from 3. So volume shooting to get the points, not efficient for Harden. Here he gets the ball running out because it's still a 4-point game. They got a chance with 17 left. Foul, he looked for it. He gets bumped, goes out of bounds. He's got nothing. Rusty Harden tried to protest, didn't work. Harden finishes with 37, but the Pelicans finish with 5 more, and they get the victory. James Harden finishing the month with 610 points. Just the second player with 600 in a month since the merger with the ABA, 1976. Michael Jordan's the other player. That's always good company. MJ, 676 points in March of 1987. All right, still to come, we break down the best moments from James Harden's historic January. Plenty to choose from. Again, although the man wasn't terribly efficient, he did score 37, which is impressive. His team, by the way, 8-6 in the month of January.
All right, speaking of impressive, Russell Westbrook been on a nice little tear lately of triple-doubles. More on that in just a moment. And his running mate, Paul George, has been playing stupid basketball late, and I mean that as a compliment. How about that? Crossing you over. Elbow jumper pull-up. Thunder up early. More from PG-13. Jonathan Isaac, you can get some of this finger roll reverse style. We need to see that one more time. Ice Gervin, what's up? The legacy lives. 31 points on 11 of 16 shooting in the first half for Paul George. Career high for points in the first half. He finished the game with 37. And then there's Russ. Looking for a fourth straight game with a triple-double, which sounds like nothing considering he went twice, averaged that in a season. But how about that move right there? I mean, that's Euro step straight from South Bay area where he grew up there in Los Angeles. Hawthorne, running the blacktops, then all the way to Westwood, UCLA, serving up dudes, including Jeremy Grant there on the alley-oop. Let's go to the third quarter. Russ, wide open. Bucket, his fourth straight triple-double. 23 points, 14 rebounds, and 14 assists. Go to the fourth quarter. The game got kind of tight, and the Thunder really had to rally in this one, and Dennis Schroeder was there to do it. That extends the lead to double digits. And then a transition, pull-up, bottoms. He had 18 in the fourth quarter, finished with 21 in the game, and the Thunder win it 126-117. As Russ does it again, filling up the box score. As I mentioned, his fourth straight game with a triple-double. It's the seventh time in his career he's had a triple-double streak at least that long. That ties Oscar Robertson for the most triple-double streaks of 4 or more in NBA